Hello and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards have to tell us for the energies for the week ahead. So this week we are starting with a MahrukhX deck, but it is a different one to one I usually start with. This is the Guiding Angels Oracle. And as we have some cards jumping out, I just wanted to say, if you haven't already seen them, make sure you go and check out my daily readings. I don't put a date in the heading because I've designed them so that they give you a reading for your next 24 hours. They go live every day at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And what else did I need to tell you? Yeah, so they go live every day at 6 p.m. And if you do want to know when they're posted, I do put that in the description. Okay, so we're going to pull a couple more. So I hope everybody's doing well. This energy in July has been... it has been next level, and I will say I don't particularly care for it, but all these things we go through, I don't know why I feel like we need one more. You know, this week we have Mercury stationing to move direct. We're moving into Leo season, both happening on the same day. So, you know, the energy is about to shift, and I think that we do have to go through these trials and tribulations in order to get to the other side and in order for our own growth. But when we're in it, apparently we're pulling two more. That was not my intention, but sure. Okay, so this is a whole lot of cards. The first one we have is walk alone. You need to walk this journey alone to consult with your own inner guidance. The answers lie with you alone. So we're going to have a look at all of these and then we'll talk about it. New love, a new relationship is entering your life. Who will be a reflection of your newfound authenticity? Celebrate success. Be proud of what you have achieved. You've struggled long and hard to get to this moment. Then we have love resurrection. A past lover is returning to your life. Listen to your intuition and be open to the reunion's lessons and blessings. Then we have a new dawn. The light is slowly creeping in to bring you positive new changes and a chance to step into your own personal power. New opportunities, better things are opening up for you. Leave the comfort zone behind and open up your world to new possibilities with an open mind. And then finally, we have not prepared. You're navigating a tricky situation. Create or reconsider your game plan before moving forward. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of cards here. However, I feel like the messages are kind of brought down to a few things. If you feel like you are on your own at the moment and you're dealing with things alone, there is a reason for that. And I understand how challenging that can be, especially if we don't feel supported in whatever it is that we are working through. But there are moments in time where we have to figure these things out for ourselves. And, you know, it's a lot. If you've been watching these readings for a while, I talk about a really good friend of mine. She was my psychotherapist. She became one of my closest friends and confidants, and her name was Ida. And if you go to my Natalie Sadie page, you can actually watch an interview that she and I did back when I was still living in Australia, talking about the type of therapy she did, because it was a little left of center, or a lot left of center, but it changed my life. She was probably the closest person to me for the longest time. And I am so grateful for everything she ever did for me. But there was a falling out in 2016, and that essentially severed the friendship. And I didn't know how to continue without her. And We never did reconcile. She passed away very suddenly, I think in 2019. And I just hate thinking that she's no longer on this earth, because she gave so much to so many people. But I realized that this separation happened because, for two reasons. One, I was too reliant on her. I needed to stand on my own 2 feet. I got to a point with her, maybe it was a little codependent, but even if I had an idea of what I wanted to do, I would always run it by her. And I think that separation happened because I needed to move forward on my own. I needed to figure all of this stuff out. The other part of this is, had we been as close as we were when she passed suddenly and I'm in another country, I don't know that I would have coped. So the point of that story is to say there are moments in time where, even when we can feel left behind or let down by somebody, it's for our own highest good. And I know that as we're going through it, it doesn't feel that way. I was heartbroken when our friendship broke down, absolutely heartbroken. To the end of days, I will love that woman, but I can also understand that that separation needed to occur for multiple reasons. So if you are feeling alone right now, I need you to keep repeating this in your head. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens exactly as it's meant to. You are going through these moments on your own because that is what you have to do. You have to figure out the answers to this. And it doesn't mean you have to isolate, but if you're feeling like you're on your own, you need to understand that there is a reason for this. You have the knowledge of what you're meant to do and how you're meant to proceed already within you. The question is, are you going to listen to that, or are you going to fight it and let others impact your decision? The other thing with all of this is we get into a place where we do allow others to get into our psyche and talk us into things or talk us out of things. Really stupid story. I met a man very randomly. We saw each other at a cafe. He ended up sending his number across to our table. I called him and we got along really well. I went out on a date with him. There was no chemistry. And I called a girlfriend. I said, listen, he's so beautiful. He's so handsome. However, there's no chemistry. And she was like, no, you're caught up on this other person. You need to give it a go. I went on 2 more dates with this man. When I say there was no chemistry, there was no chemistry. Here's the thing about me. I know within minutes of meeting someone if there is something there. I have particular little tells in my own brain that tell me, yes, I'm into someone, or no, I'm not. Instead of trusting my gut, I went on 2 more dates with this man to just get to the same conclusion. And then it became more awkward to kind of say, hey, this isn't working for me. And so this is why there are moments in time where we need to figure these things out for ourselves. So there's clearly something. I'm not someone that does love readings specifically, but there is something going on in terms of relationships. So this new love card that came up, first of all, I want to say, be open to it. Even if you're somebody that's like, no, I don't need that. Just sometimes they show up and we're not expecting it, and be open to it. The other thing that I got immediately with this card coming out is that a new love doesn't need to be a new romantic interest. It could be a new pet that comes in. I don't know about you, but for me, my fur babies are my life. I love them as if they were my own children. I'm not being rude to anybody that has children. I don't have any. So those fur babies are my babies. I don't have one in my life at the moment. Bumble passed away 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and I still miss him, and the circumstances aren't right to bring in a new animal at the moment. However, there could be something or someone coming in for you. And the other thing is, friendship can be love as well. We always think of love as romantic, but there is love between family members. There is love in friendships. I have some of the best girlfriends in my life I could ever ask for, and I love them, and I would go to battle for those women. So just know that there's something coming in. The other thing is, though, we have this card, Love Resurrection. It makes sense while Mercury is retrograde that there could be people from our past coming back. That frequently happens. The other thing is, it could be, I keep getting this, it could be after Mercury goes direct, in that this Mercury retrograde has been a very challenging one. And I say this personally, I say it watching my friends go through it. We've all been tested and challenged in different ways. And so if there has been a separation, there is the possibility that somebody is coming back because they've needed that time to go and figure out whatever is going on for them. Maybe it's you needing to figure out whatever's going on for you, but there could be this coming back together. Now, does this mean that it's going to lead to a relationship that lasts forever? No. It could be a great way for closure to happen. It could be a great way to get the questions that were never answered. Could it also be that there is this reconnection? Absolutely. So you need to be open to the possibilities around here, but just understand that sometimes closure is the greatest gift you can have. So this is up to you to decide whether this is a lesson, a blessing, what this is. Just know that you don't, just because they come back, it doesn't mean you need to dive in. And that's not what the cards are saying. It's saying that these possibilities of new love, these possibilities of this resurrection, this person coming back from your past, can come into your life. And so what I'm telling you is to be open to however this plays out. Then we have Celebrate Success. This one to me is self-explanatory. We're always so hard on ourselves. We're always very self-critical, and we have to celebrate the wins that we have. And sometimes these wins are big wins, and sometimes they're smaller. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, this is something I've been trying to get done, and I've procrastinated, and I can't, and I do it. And you finally take that time to stop and figure it out and get it done. And that shifts everything, because you go, oh my God, I feel so much better. Maybe it's just the spring cleaning in the house, and you sit down at the end of it and go, oh, I feel like I can breathe again. Celebrate whatever it is that you have achieved, because one, you deserve the celebration. You deserve to reward yourself for the things that you get done. And if it's a bigger win, even freaking better. Good on you. This year has been challenging in so many ways, and astrologically, it's just a wild, wild year. So make sure you take the wins when they're being offered to you, because if you don't celebrate you and your wins, who else is going to? Then we have New Dawn, and then we have the New Opportunities card. So I feel like New Dawn is more about, while they're very similar in terms of new things are coming in, I feel like New Dawn is more about, there are positive shifts that are happening. And I think that for a lot of people, they're counting down to the end of Mercury retrograde. And listen, the day Mercury goes into retrograde or comes out of it are often the most challenging, at least from my perspective. So don't necessarily expect everything to shift on the 23rd, and then Mercury still needs to move through where it's retrograded, but just that burden will start to lift, that heaviness and those challenges that have been coming up will start to shift. So you're going to see that light at the end of the tunnel. And it may start as the tiniest little pinprick originally or initially, and then it will just every day get a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. So just know that this too shall pass. It's one of my favorite sayings. Whenever I'm stuck in something, and even if it's just a tough workout, sit there and say to myself, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And it will. So just know that this is shifting. The storm is going to sort of continue on and move out of the way. Then we have new opportunities. So better things are opening up for you. Leave the comfort zone behind and open up your world to new possibilities. So this is the whole thing. When things are difficult, when things are uncomfortable, it's very easy for us to just stay put in the place that is comfortable for us. And this is the week where we need to start putting ourselves back out there. Go and do things that you might go, oh, I don't really want to do this. And it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just you're very comfortable sitting at home on the couch. Go to the gathering. You don't have to stay long. Just go. You don't know who you might meet. It could be a great work connection. It could be a friendship. Could be someone that is a little more special. There could be new work things coming up. It's just, new things are being gifted to you. But if you are hiding and staying in that place that feels comfortable and safe versus putting yourself out there and trying to do different things and just sort of say yes to the universe will pull back in what it's offering you. So know that there is this shift in terms of the battle that it feels like we've been in for a while. And then it ends with the not prepared card. You're navigating a tricky situation. Create or reconsider your game plan before moving forward. I honestly feel like this is kind of being bookended by walk alone and not prepared. And this to me is all about this thing that I was talking about at the beginning with Ida, where and this isn't anything that Ida did, this is completely on me, that I became reliant on her to kind of approve or disapprove of whatever decision I was making. And so if what you're navigating is a little bit tricky or just not the easiest thing to navigate, just take time to think about what's going on and to plan how it is you want to navigate through what's going on. You already have the answers in terms of what it is you need to do and how you need to proceed. So just know that you may feel unprepared and you may feel like you can't do this, but you absolutely can. I was just going to say you're a wild woman or man. And then I've just realized I'm shuffling the Wild Woman Rising deck, which is the second deck that we're going to use. So if you look at the thumbnail, it's a woman in the forest with some people. She's leading them and they're at a portal, to sort of step into the world that they want to be in. And when I asked Dan to make me the thumbnail, okay, I didn't know which decks I was going to use. I didn't know what I was going to do. But with this new dawn and new opportunities, and then, gosh, I'm not doing that well. And then we've got the new love and, this trusting our strength, trusting our wisdom. It makes sense why that was the thumbnail that I needed her to make. So I've got one. I'm going to pull two more. This has turned into a slightly longer reading than I had intended, but I do let the cards decide how we're doing this. So okay. So we have the first card is Rewild Your Spirit. And again, I think this goes back to stop sitting on the couch, stop sitting in your safe space, and step into who you actually are. Start saying yes to the universe. Start putting yourself out there. Start taking control of your life and remembering that you are capable of so much and you are in control of how this life plays out. You do have free will. You do have choices. So if you want to stay in your comfort zone and you don't feel the need to grow or expand or level up, fine. But if you feel that there's more to life and that things can change and there is this inner warrior within you, this is a week to tap into that energy and go after exactly what you want, to be fearless. Then we have laugh with life. You know, we get so caught up in everything that's difficult, and I've talked at length about the astrology, and, you know, we're well into retrograde season. Things are moving backwards and more things are going to be moving backwards, and it can be incredibly challenging. We have to remember to laugh. This is why the celebrating ourselves is so important. We have to see the good in what is around us. We have to see the beauty in what is around us. We have to be able to laugh at the ridiculousness of things that happen. Like if you think about Mercury retrograde and just the technical things that go wrong. I have a rule at this point, because in the past I used to get really bothered when things wouldn't work. Now, if something technologically stops working, I try to fix it a couple of times, reboot, whatever it is. And if it's still not working at that point, I go, okay. And I walk away and I just go, it's fine. And I say to myself, Mercury retrograde. And then I go off and I do something else. And then I get up in the morning and everything's working perfectly, as if there was never an issue. You have to just go with the flow. You have to laugh at the ridiculousness of what's happening. I mean, the technological stuff is so cliche, Mercury retrograde. What else are you going to do but laugh? You know, when everything is going wrong, when things turn to shit, when you see somebody's true colors, okay, let's go. So just remember to laugh, find the joy, find the silver lining in everything, because it's going to be okay. And then we have the final card, remember kindness. And this is kindness for yourself as well as kindness for others. Because when we're feeling frustrated, when we're feeling like we're up against it, it is very easy for us to get snappy. It's very easy for us to hit a point of frustration where we, you know, we become self-critical against ourselves. We become critical of others because we're so frustrated with how everything's playing out. So it's a week to laugh at what's going on around you, laugh at this life, not take things too seriously, and, you know, just go with it. And in that, you have to remember to be kind to yourself. This is why the celebrating your successes are so important. This is why laughing with life is so important, because that is going to set the tone for how everything else plays out. And then we're finishing up with Keepers of the Light, which is Kyle Gray, and we have El Moira. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak. El Moriah, Awakening Presence. I'm so sorry if I've butchered that. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. So this is the whole thing. The universe is on your side. The universe wants you to win. The universe is working with you. You have to do your part. So make sure you tap into all of that this week. Know that if you've been going through it with these really crazy and heavy transits, it's going to shift. This too shall pass, I promise you. And those storm clouds are going to start to separate, and you're going to see that sunshine coming through. And whether there is a rekindling of romance, whether it's closure, it's going to be for your highest good. And trust that you have the answers. Trust that you know exactly what it is you're meant to be doing. Have a wonderful week, everyone. I hope this resonated with some of you, if not all of you. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person. And make sure you go and check out my dailies. I'll see you for the next one.